Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again, going for a walk, doing what I do. This is what I do if it's your first time here. Welcome along. I walk along in beautiful locations such as this. I speak about my thoughts and opinions on what's happening in the world, what's happening in the public consciousness. If you're a returning subscriber, all 743 of you, I think it is today, welcome back. It is an honour and a privilege for so many people to join me here for these walks. Thank you very much, one and all, for being here. So, I'm tired. I don't know about you, but this psychological operation that we're all living through is tiring. It is. It's so tiring. It drains you when you think things are going to happen and they don't. It drains you. When you constantly see this barrage of bullshit coming at you, it drains you. And I understand that people get tired and they just sort of, they wane from the fight. I understand it because sometimes you have to step away. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about this war that we're in, and we are at war. Don't doubt that for a moment. We are at war. This is a psychological operation that we're living through. It is part of the war. And we are part of that. Now, when I speak about war, you know, when we typically think about war, we typically think about bombs and bullets and tanks and planes and rockets and things like that going off and people getting blown up. This is not that kind of war. It's an unconventional war. This is a war that's been used. Many different methods are being used to fight this war, and most of them are psychological. To have you in a psychological state that you'll eventually give in to the demands, because they'll wear you down and wear you down and wear you down until you haven't got anything left to fight with. But, and it's a big but because I like big buts, but we are winning this. I know it doesn't seem like that, but we are. And I'm going to go into that as we go along. Now, okay, where do we start with this thing here? What we've been living through for the past 18 months, the thing that we're not allowed to talk about, that thing, you know, the thing, is part of this psychological operation. It's also economic. It is every aspect that you can think about. It's elections, it's medical, it's everything, every aspect, governmental, financial, every single aspect of your life is in turmoil. But a lot of people just say, like, oh no, it's not, Chris. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a conspiracy theorist and you have no idea. But now, those very same people that said to me, you don't know what you're talking about, this is all normal, it's all good, are the same people that are feeling the pinch, one way or another. Now, I've done many videos about inflation and the cost of goods going up, why that's happening. And back when I was doing that, people were saying, well, you don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing happening here. Everything's normal. Today on Twitter, I saw a lady who I follow, who's Australian, who went to the store and bought 3 birthday cards. Look at that sunshine. It's such a beautiful morning here. It's a bit crisp. I didn't do my weather report, so it is a bit crisp this morning. It's a bit crisp out. My fingers are frozen. I've had to put my jacket on, and I'm having to wear, not leggings, but, you know, the male version of that. I don't know what you call them, running pants. I've had to put those on because it is cold this morning here in the UK. Very, very cold. It's bitterly cold, but that's good. That's how I like it. So, sorry, get back on track. Inflation, where were we? Sorry, went off on a tangent there. So, she's gone to the store and she's bought 3 birthday cards, just birthday cards. This is all she bought for $21 in Australia. So like, when did this happen? Well, you can't just keep on, or the governments of the world can't just keep on printing money into his, well, it's not the governments. Let's get that straight right from the start. It's not the governments of the world printing the money. It is the central banks of the world printing the money, and they're all the same. We've been through this before many times. The central banks of the world print the currency, lend it to governments with interest attached. So they print it out of nowhere. It's magic money. It's fugazi. It doesn't exist. So they print this money into existence. Usually they don't even print it. It's just press a couple of buttons now and just magically money appears, and then they can charge interest on that fake money with nothing backing it, by the way. There's no they just keep on printing it, keep on printing money into existence, lending it to who? The banks. Why is the stock market continually going up? Why is it at all-time highs yet again? So inflation is starting to hit everywhere. You know, we're talking about here in the UK, there's a energy company called Bulb, I think, 6th largest supplier in the UK, looking for government handouts, or they're going to go under. Even though they put the price up 60% in the last year. True story. But this war goes on, and it is, every single aspect of your life is going to be touched by this. Every single part. Every single part. Now, we've been told, you know, in Australia, I mean, I'll focus on Australia a little bit today. In Australia, no thing stuck in your arm. You know, that thing I'm not allowed to talk about as well. In this free world that we live in, you're not allowed to have talks about things. That's one aspect of your life being impacted. So there's certain things you're just not allowed to talk about. Like the climate crisis. You're not allowed to discuss that. That's off limits. No talking about that. No talking about the world leaders flying in on 400 private jets to the climate conference. Not allowed to talk about that. I wonder why. But you're bad if you want to go on holiday once a year. Okay, sure. Should we take a diversion? Let's take a different track, because that's what we need to do in this world. Sometimes we need to take different paths in order to find a better place, or something new, or something different. So we're going through this everything, this turmoil. Everything is happening, and people like you that are here to join me for this walk through the forest, people like me, other people out there on the internet that are talking about these kind of subjects. You know, I've been talking about this, not on my YouTube channel. I've had this for just over a year, because I was doing Facebook Live videos and things before, and just being widely ridiculed, ignored, lambasted, you know, all the things. You know what I'm talking about. If you're here, you probably know. You've probably experienced it for yourself. But I've been talking about this for a few years. What is coming? The Great Reset, or the Great Awakening. Which is it? Which is it going to be? Which is it going to be? Either we're going to full tyranny mode, which some places like Australia probably is already, or we go to the Great Awakening where people finally open their eyes and go, holy shit, what have we in our lives of just consume, obey. Everything's fine. We'll take care of everything while you people go about your day and have fun and go on your little holidays and meet together and have drinks down the pub and forget about what we're doing in politics, because that's not important. Meanwhile, you're bent over the table in prison. You know the reference I'm talking about. So, because we've for so long, people have not been involved in politics, have not been involved in the sort of everyday running of how our world works. These criminals that have been taking advantage of the systems. Every single one of them. Now, I've heard, but politicians, they're not all bad, Chris. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Here in the UK, the politicians decided to extend the Coronavirus Act. Oh, I just said the word. By 6 months, which is the bill, the laws in this country, by 6 months without even a vote. Not even a vote. In Australia, in Victoria, we've heard that the politicians who haven't had the thing stuck in them, the thing that we're not allowed to talk about, remember we live in a free world, but you're not allowed to talk about certain subjects. The politicians who haven't had that are not allowed to vote in the Parliament in Victoria. Sounds like a free world that we live in. Oh, but Chris, you're just being over the top. Yeah, okay. Tell me about it. Tell me how I'm all wrong. Tell me how there's no inflation at all. Tell me that the price of your shopping is not going up. Tell me that the price of your heating and stuff isn't going up. Tell me about that. Tell me how your wages are going up so much to keep up with inflation. Just tell me about that. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear the explanation. In fact, there was a girl on Facebook that I had to block who decided to come over here and chase me onto YouTube and accuse me of profiting from fear-mongering. True story, profiting from fear-mongering. I was like, she said, you can't run away. You can't hide from this. You need to have a discussion. I was like, cool, let's have it. Tell me how I profit. I don't monetize this channel. I don't. There's no adverts, as you've probably seen. I'm not ever going to monetize this channel. It's not what this is about. This is about me walking along beautiful locations, speaking about what I think. You can agree, you can disagree. Sometimes people disagree. That's cool. We don't have to agree on everything. But we have to open our eyes and be able to see these things that are going on and be able to talk about them. If we can't even talk about them, what are we going to do? How is our world going to move forward? So we've got to this situation now where people are starting to see and go, hang on a second, what's going on in this world? We've been told that the Jeffrey Epstein thing is all finished. It's all done. It's all over. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. He didn't. And I'll add to that, he's not dead. No, Jeffrey Epstein isn't dead. And he certainly didn't kill himself. Now, while we're on the subject of Jeffrey Epstein, let's talk about his girlfriend, madam, cohort, controller. We can say controller. Yeah, controller. Her father, I can't think what his first name was, Maxwell. He was a British MP. Worked for who? Who? Mossad, perhaps? Mossad agent. Yeah. Her father, Ghislaine Maxwell, Mossad agent, also British MP. Don't know how that works. But Mossad trying to take me out. I think they'd be better at that than putting a stick on the ground. So Mossad agent, but Ghislaine Maxwell definitely is a Mossad agent. 100%. And Jeffrey Epstein, definitely not a Mossad agent. Bullshit! Sorry, must be the cove. So what we've found out just recently is that Ghislaine Maxwell is still in a French prison, and the judge presiding over the case is now saying that all the records about all the co-conspirators to do with Epstein needs to be unsealed so the public can see it. Okay? Yeah? Just in case you haven't been keeping up with the case, I have. Okay, and then what did we see yesterday, or the day before yesterday? The Barclays Bank, Barclays is one of the biggest banks in the world, Barclays Bank CEO steps down for his ties to who? Epstein. We've only just begun. He is one of many. Probably half of the British MPs are going to be implicated as well. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And it's not just the British MPs. We're talking about a whole slew of the most famous, most well-known, most celebrated people in the whole world, including Hollywood, including music stars, rap stars. Oh yes, all those people that you worshipped as false gods. I'm pretty sure there was a commandment about that. Thou shalt not worship false idols. Something like that. But it's strange every year that the Oscars, they give away a golden statue. Strange, don't you think? Yes. But this whole facade of everything is falling as we speak. But it's not making the mainstream news, so people are getting frustrated and they're like, oh, nothing's happening. I thought there was supposed to be a Red October. Listen, you need to look beyond the headlines. You need to look beyond the mainstream media because they're garbage. You know, they're absolute garbage. They have nothing to offer you and me. Absolutely nothing. And this is the point of what I wanted to get to today. I'm doing this not for money, not for fame, not for anything. I mean, I do this in my spare time when I can. Obviously, I'm working like 80 hours a week at the moment. It's ridiculous. I'm sleeping a few hours a day. I'm trying to spend time with my kids and my wife and organize my life. I mean, it's almost impossible, but it's so important for me to do this and to encourage people just to say, hey, don't give up. when we go through these periods and it's just so frustrating and it seems like nothing's happening, and it seems like, my wife is a prime example. My wife has been on this journey with me, not always alongside me. Sometimes she's been pushing back against me, but that's what my wife is there for. She's there to question me, to keep me questioning what I'm believing, to keep me questioning the narrative, to keep me on the path. You know, she is the representation of the universe saying to me, hey, look at this. And it's hard. It's hard because when you're butting heads with the people that you love, it is, but that's important. And it's not just the people you love, it's the people around you as well that are going to test you, they're going to question you, they're going to constantly push you, but it's there for a reason. And so the same with all the media and all the news that you're getting, everything is bombarding you to test your resolve. How bad do you want this? How bad do you want this new world? How bad do you want this freedom from this tyranny, this oppression, this you're being told not what you're allowed to talk about? Do you really want it, or are you just a sort of a hanger-on in the movement? Are you just, oh well, you know, if it happens, it happens. You know, I don't really care either way. I'm happy to live in a prison cell. You know, I'm happy to live in a prison where I'm told what I can do, where I can go, who I can meet with, how many people I can meet with, if I can attend someone's funeral or not. You know, I'm happy with that world. But are you? Are you really? Are you satisfied with that? Are you satisfied with being told what you can do, where you can go, if you can have a job based on your status? If you've got a little card that says, oh yes, I'm being a good little boy, I've followed all the rules. Because I'm not prepared to give in to that, no matter what. Never will I back down. There are times when I get frustrated and I have to pull back and I have to just go, take some time, relax, know that you're on the right path. You know, this is the thing, I keep on coming back to The Matrix, and I mean, I love that film. It is a work of art. It is, you know, if you haven't seen it, see it and understand what it's about. Okay, you need to understand when they talk about you're a battery in the machine, you're a cog. You're keeping this machine running for the way that they want the machine to run, not the way that you want it to run. You're a minor player as far as they're concerned, but in reality, you're a major piece of the puzzle. Like the Keymaker says, we're all here to do what we're all here to do, and we're all here to take the fight to these people that want to control us. That's your role. That is your role. That's my role. My role is to stand in the face of this, take the ridicule, take the mockery, take the name calling, take the segregation from society, take the segregation away from family and friends that don't want to ever see you again because you're a bad person, Chris. I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to, whatever it takes, because I will never, ever, ever back down. I won't give in. I won't be put to the side. Oh, you're not part of this anymore. I will stand my ground. I will say my piece, and I will encourage and lift up people who want to do the same. I will openly debate anybody, anywhere about any subject that I talk about. Anybody, anywhere, including the climate crisis. I will debate the most renowned scientist in the world about this. I'm happy to. Happy to. 100% happy to. Because I won't give in. I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to not have my say. And now is the time that we need to redouble our efforts. As you see what's happening with the media, they're falling apart. The whole narrative and the politics and everything, the narrative is falling apart day by day. So what we need to do is keep up our mockery, keep pointing them at them and laughing and saying, you're ridiculous. Not just the media, politicians. And all the people backing this nonsense. We have to redouble our efforts and say, you're a fool. You're a fool. Because what they're trying to do is use propaganda to try and fool people into doing what they want us to do. But the mockery and the memes that we have to win people over to this cause and to this understanding and the questioning of our reality, if you want to call it that. We have to bring people over here, but we're not going to bring people over by just constantly arguing with people. We have to meme the hell out of these things. We have to mock it in such a way that we get around all this censorship and this garbage and this nonsense that we're constantly living with. We have to find ways around it, which is memes. The meme war is strong. The meme war is strong. But right here, while we're here, look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. It's a beautiful world we live in. But now we have to take this to the next level. We have to take this struggle, this warfare, this psychological warfare. We have to take this to the next level and feed it back to these scumbags who are constantly pushing in our face and saying, no, you're wrong. We have to just constantly feed back with meme warfare. We can't give up. And sometimes we have to take a step back and take a breather in ourselves and be able to take a breath and spend some time with our families and remind ourselves of why we're doing this. Sometimes we have to do that, but others have to step up in their place. Now, I'm not talking about everybody taking up and starting doing YouTube, because that's not how it works. Not everyone is going to do that. That's fine. But getting out there and sharing memes and sharing information and stuff like this, if you think it's worthwhile, if you think it can show people that there are people standing for them, even though they don't think that we're standing for them, we're standing in the face of this evil, this overwhelming force that's coming at us. Well, it seems like an overwhelming force with the media and the government and medical and all these this tsunami of bullshit that's trying to engulf us all. But really what it is, it's just this false giant. It's like a mirage. It's like a hologram that's being projected. I've spoken about it before, this like allegory of the cave, Plato's allegory of the cave, where this image of reality is being projected onto a wall in front of us, the wall being the screen or the TV that you're watching. This image is being projected onto that wall for us all to see, and that's what we take as our reality. This image, this idea, this concept, this propaganda, this psychological operation that's been projected onto all of us, as that's being put forward as the reality. And the reality is quite different from that. All we have to do is show people that they're not alone and that we can stand together and fight against this. But what we have to do first is recognize where the problems are. We're talking about this COP conference, all the world leaders got together, 400 private jets flying private jets, and then hundreds and hundreds of cars to ferry people around from these events. And Poopy Pants Biden is out there, falling asleep at the conference because it's so important. It's the most desperate thing that we've ever faced in this world. And he's, meme the hell out of it. We've got to show these people we're not going to back down. And even if you don't agree with everything I'm saying, all you got to do is look around you. Is the price of your shopping going up? Ask why that is. Because the value of your money is going down, so it takes more of those dollars to buy the same item because they keep on printing more and more of those dollars into existence. That's called inflation. Consumer Price Index, CPI, is going up. They're saying the CPI, cost of food, is up by between 15 and 30% depending on the item. Look at that. Oh! Beautiful, beautiful. You don't have to agree with everything I say, but what you need to do is open your eyes and look around. We are in the midst of a battle, and this battle will determine the war. And what we do from here, what we share, how we think, opening our eyes to information, it might seem like it's crazy, is the most important thing you can do. And educate yourself. Now, as I've said before, I've talked about investments in cryptos and gold and silver and all sorts of things, okay? That's, if that's the way you want to go and do it. If you need more information, there's other videos I've done in the past. There's plenty of information out there. If you want some more information, I'm happy to answer questions. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. If I was, I wouldn't be going to work for 80 hours a week. But the most important investment you can make, by far, is an investment in yourself. Right? An investment in yourself is either educating yourself with more information, because that's important. Reading some more, going and finding information about politics, about inflation, about all these kind of things I talk about. Go and look for the information yourself. I'm not the kind of person who does screenshots and says, look at this. Sometimes I put links in the thing below, but it's important that you go and find it. I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to go and walk through it, because if I was to spoon feed you and go, there's a good little boy, have your spoonful of daily dose of the thing, then what are you learning? What are you learning? Nothing. You need to go and seek the information out for yourself. This is, like I said, a battle between the Great Reset, which is resetting the currency and taking complete control of what you do, how you think, your movement, your thinking, what you can say, what you can't say. Everything about your life is going to be controlled by one party, which is the world government. And they will say what you can do, where you can go, what you can think. Or the Great Awakening, where the populace decides, the populace wakes up and says, what the hell is going on? And it's happening. You get a choice to be part of it, or you get a choice to sit there on the sidelines and go, well, it doesn't involve me. It does involve you. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you're in deepest, darkest Africa. I don't care if you're living in Australia or Europe. Anywhere in the world, you are affected by this. And you need to stand your ground. You need to share information with your friends, and you need to make sure that you understand what's going on. Because if you don't, you're going to be a victim of it. The time to choose. You can't sit on the fence anymore. It's time to wake up. It's time to look around. It's time to look at information that runs counter to what you think, or what you're being told anyway. And start to question and start to wake up. Be part of the Great Awakening. Be part of this movement to bring people, all of us. Doesn't matter what colour you're from, where your background is, I don't care. That's not important. We are all part of this movement. And we can all benefit going forward by changing the systems that we've been living under that have kept us all down. Suppress technology. We're still using oil. Why? Not because it's better, but because the oil companies have got a stranglehold on all the governments of the world. I talked about it in my last video. So now is the time to choose. Where do you want to be? What do you want to know? And I'm going to be sharing some more information, a lot more information. I've got this interview with a guy called Steve coming up about freeing ourselves from the bonds of all the debts that hang over your head, how they were created through the straw man of your passport. Sorry, not your passport, your birth certificate. And how you can free yourself from it. That's coming. Steve's exceptionally busy. We'll be talking about this soon. I'm hoping sometime in the next couple of weeks. I've also got the gentleman from NASA coming back, Michael Janess. Can't wait to speak to him again. I'm also going to be doing some other talks with. I'm not going to reveal those yet because I don't know. I think they're still secret. But lots more things happening, and I want you to be part of it. So join me. Join me for these walks. I mean, if nothing else, you get to view some beautiful countryside, and maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you can teach me something, because I'm always open to learning new things, and I don't know everything. So join me for the walks. If you think what I'm doing is worthwhile, then share it with other people, because the more people we have in this movement of bringing us together, the faster this will happen. The Great Awakening will only happen as more and more people get on board this thing. Or we go to the Great Reset, which is controlled by people like Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and those, George Soros, that kind of filth. I don't want to live under a world where in a world where those kind of filth are controlling anything. So you get to choose. The choice is now. Make a decision. Thank you for being here. If you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button. Come back and join me again. If you don't, then don't. I don't mind. You can hit the like button, hit the dislike button. The choice is always is yours. That's the problem, is choice. You get to make it. Which way you're going to choose. It's up to you. Thank you one and all for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you in whatever capacity I'm serving you in. I'm honored. I'm so overwhelmed by how many people join me for these walks. I really am. It's just it's amazing, and I'm blessed and I'm in disbelief that so many people do. So thank you one and all for being here. I love you all. I really do, and I can't thank you enough. So get out into the world. Do good. Be good. That's all we need to do. Do good and be good, and you'll change the world through your thoughts and your actions and your words. So get out there and go and do some of that. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Take care. Ciao for now.